And good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Belmore. It is July 1st, and this is What's Up in Local Music, and I'm going to kick it over to your host, What's Up Noobs, Ken Abrams, who hosts this ongoing series. Good evening, Ken.
Hello, Ryan. Hi, everybody. Great to be here again.
And yes, another conversation about local music with musicians and the people that bring local music to the area.
Absolutely. We have a very special guest, a legend in Rhode Island music circles is with us tonight, Chuck Wentworth. There's Chuck. Hello, Chuck.
Hey, how you guys doing?
I see you got your official Rhythm and Roots t-shirt. I recognize the top of that t-shirt, I believe, right? One of the logos.
That's all I wear.
That's good. Well, there's a lot of good
years.
A lot of good apparel. We'll give it an early plug. It really is, and it's less than some of the other festivals, just more affordable apparel. I've got my sweatshirts, my t-shirts, and it's great to have you with us. For those who are unaware, Chuck is the director, producer of the Rhythm and Roots Festival, which takes place every Labor Day weekend in Charlestown. We'll be talking a lot about that tonight. Chuck is, as I mentioned, has been involved in the community. He was the founder of the Rhythm and Roots Festival. He's run other festivals, and I know he was a DJ for many years at WRIU, where I also have a show on Tuesday. Chuck, you did the Traditions show, correct?
Yeah, for 37 years. 37
years. I'll join in about 35 years. I'll match that. How does that sound?
Yeah, that was a lot of Monday nights.
A lot of Monday nights. Tom does a great job with that now. But that RIU, like Rhythm and Roots, is really one of the things that makes us sort of stand out in Rhode Island when it comes to folk music, roots music, Americana, whatever label we throw on it, just good music. Let's put it that way. We want to talk a little bit tonight about what you've been up to. We know, of course, the festival took a year off with COVID, as all festivals did. And what's happening with this year's festival, what's going to be different, what's going to be the same, and really anything else that you'd like to talk about tonight. That's what it's all about. We keep it very casual here at What's Up, Newp. Maybe we'll start off with that question. I mean, how did the pandemic affect your planning and your organizing this year's event?
Well, we got off to a really good start in 2020. We sold more tickets in advance during those first 2 months than we've ever done. And people were really happy with the lineup. And I mean, we were just sailing along. And then everything hit and came to a screeching halt. And we had to sit there and turn around and refund hundreds of $1,000s worth of tickets, which was a very painful process, to give back some hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not an easy task, but we did. We refunded everyone who bought a ticket. Figured that was the easiest way instead of trying to roll things over. So when we got through that, we did a virtual festival on Labor Day weekend. We did 26 hours of music, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, which worked really well. People were very happy with it, but it's just not the same thing. So coming into this year, we had maybe 75% of the acts that were lined up for 2020 confirmed to come back this year. So, interest was high. And, as we rolled into this year, we put tickets on. It took us a while. We had to go through a lot of processes dealing with the state and the town of Charlestown, trying to get approval and trying to meet what regulations and rules they were going to set forth. And at this point, they're even still unclear as to what will be allowed or not allowed. So we're waiting to see what happens. And I think a big harbinger of what's going to go on with us is what's going to happen with Newport Folk and Jazz. And
right.
We'll see how they're treated and what's going to happen with them. And that will give us a good indication of what we can expect.
That's true. It'll be like a practice run for Rhythm and Roots, which is good. You'll be able to see what they do. I remember back in March and April, just watching social media of this year, it was very touch and go. It was really, there wasn't a definite word from the state. Probably took until around May before you made it official, right, this year?
No, we made it official sometime in early April.
Okay, April, yeah.
We put tickets on sale May 12th. But, a big factor in getting things going this year was turnover in the state government and getting Dan McKee in charge. and he's very, very pro music, pro festival, pro tourism, and he's been behind a lot of the efforts to get these festivals up and running this year. He really wants it to happen, and he's put the state offices behind it all.
That's great to hear. I know at Newport, I just filled out a form. I'm going to be attending there, and they're requiring either a vaccination, reporting, vaccination. You upload the certificate, and either that or a negative COVID test 72 hours before the event. I think they're going to have temperature checks there as well. They advertise that, and perhaps more. They're actually going above and beyond what the state is requiring, obviously, with the security and safety of their fans in mind. So do you anticipate those kinds of things at Rhythm and Roots, or are you still unsure about what the protocols will be?
I've got a call into the Department of Business Regulations this week, and I haven't heard back as to what the changes might be, in terms of capacity, mask wearing, distancing, temperature checks, all the things you just mentioned. And we're going to be following CDC guidelines, I'm sure. We have the same thing, the safety of our patrons, our musicians, our vendors, our volunteers, of all the utmost concern for us. We want to make sure that everybody is going to be on track to have a great festival and do it safely and healthy.
That's great. I will say, having attended Rhythm and Roots for a couple decades, there is a lot of space. There's a lot of room to move around. Now, of course, there's the dance floor. There are some crowded areas historically, but you can definitely put a mask on and sort of sit back and still really enjoy the full festival, as opposed to some others that get a little more crowded. Newport Folk, I'm thinking, which, although they're, of course, limiting their crowd size as well this year. So I think that's something positive that you've got going at Rhythm and Roots. Hopefully people will feel comfortable, obviously following the guidelines that you guys lay out and the state lay out. Are you planning for the normally you have 4 stages, correct, at Rhythm and Roots?
Yes, we normally do.
Right.
Excuse me.
So,
we're going to be yeah. We've eliminated the family stage and the youth music camp out of some concerns for children, kids 12 and under not being vaccinated. So we've done that. We've cut back on our Friday night schedule, starting at 5 o'clock this year. On Friday, we're only going to run 2 stages Friday night, and we're going to be ending an hour earlier on all 3 stages each night. So we've cut back on some of the music we're presenting, but it's only an hour's worth. We'll still have 7 bands per day on Saturday and Sunday. We'll still have some workshops. We'll still have some dancing going on. So a lot of what we've done in the past is in place. The thing I can foresee is that there will be limited capacity, and we're keeping a close eye on the numbers so far with the tickets we've sold. And we want to make sure, as you said, that there is a lot of space, that people aren't being congested in there. We don't want to cram people in. We want to be able to have people spread out and enjoy themselves and not ruin the experience.
Right. Absolutely. It's unfortunate. I mean, the kids' tent and the kids' activities, the academy, are really a centerpiece for families. But it totally makes sense. You can't risk, especially unvaccinated, 1 to 12-year-olds there. That's the reality. And I'm sure it'll be back next year. But otherwise, it sounds like it's more or less the same, slightly shortened hours, as you mentioned. I think Friday used to be just an evening, right? A few years ago. And then you started it earlier. Yeah, so we
decided to go back. I think it was our 20th anniversary when we decided to go for a full day on Friday, and we ran that for a few years, and then this year just decided to go back to the old way.
Right. So where are you now? This time of year, you've got about 2 months. It's Labor Day weekend, so it's literally 2 months from now. Where are you in the planning stages? Just out of curiosity, when you're putting together, you've got your artists lined up. I'm sure you've got the vendors lined up. What kind of work are you doing, say, in early July for the festival?
I get interrupted there.
That's okay. No, I'll repeat the question. What kind of things are you doing at this point in the summer, 2 months before the festival? I'm just curious what, as producer, what is the festival doing? Obviously, you have a lot lined up already, the artists and such. what are you doing? What are you working on the first couple weeks in July? Whoop. We may have lost Chuck. And Ryan, you're muted.
It might be some of that great Rhode Island internet. And Chuck, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove you and just try to reconnect for us, if you may, if you can still hear me. And if I see you come back up on screen, I'll bring you back up. But I've been running it on the bottom. And the Rhythm and Roots Festival returns to Charlestown, which in Rhode Island, it's not that far away, no matter where you are, September 3rd through the 5th. And there's the website for tickets and more information. I'm sure Chuck will tell us all about that.
And for those of you who attend Newport Folk, for example, parking is free and easy. One of the great things about Rhythm and Roots, it's a big old airfield in a good park, and there's a ton of room, as we said, to spread out inside the festival. But it's also easy to get there. It's right off Route 1. There's no traffic. You pull in, you park, and it's a short walk. You don't have to take the buses. So it does have that distinction over the Newport festivals. Smaller crowds, which make that more manageable, of course. Some great artists, too, while we wait for Chuck to get by. If you haven't looked at the lineup, and I know off the top of my head the headliners, then I'll pull it up here. But we've got great guitarist Richard Thompson is headlining Friday night of Labor Day weekend. I won't even give you the dates. It's so far off, but it's Labor Day. One of probably the best. I call him the greatest living guitarist, Richard Thompson, right now. Acoustic guitarist, let's say. We won't get into electric. Rhiannon Giddens is going to be there. She is a veteran of Newport, in fact, right? A couple of times she's been there. And the other headliner is John Hyatt, who is well known in singer-songwriter Americana circles. He's going to be there as well. So those are three big names. But what the festival is also great is bringing up new talent. Looks like we've got Chuck back. Can you hear?
Yeah, here I am.
All right, great.
Kind of missed what you guys were saying.
That's all right. Kind of normal. Don't worry about it. I went through some of your, I pitched some of your leading artists for the weekend. It really is a great lineup, particularly considering the last year. And everybody knows that, budgets are struggling, but your headliners this year are amazing, talented artists, John Hyatt and Richard Thompson, of course, as well as Rhiannon Giddens. So it's just, she's at the top of the music world right now. So really impressive lineup. And you mentioned some of them were there last year. Who do you have coming up this year who's sort of up and coming, who you want us to keep an eye on at the festival? What kind of artists should we be paying attention to? There we go.
Well, we just added a young girl out of Providence, Charlie Marie. She's country music. She's been on WRIU a couple of times playing live, playing on Dan's show and on Tom's show. She just put out a great new recording called Ramble On, and really impressed with her voice and her songwriting ability. So we're going to showcase her on Saturday during the afternoon. We've got Will Evans and his band Rising Tide coming up out of Mystic, and I've caught them a couple of times at the Knickerbocker. I was really impressed with what I heard. So we've got him on Friday night, which should be a fun night. Friday night, we've got like kind of a jam-based theme with Will Evans, Keller Williams, Donna the Buffalo, and this band Uprooted, which is basically Rusted Root. And they're going to be closing out the show on Friday night. So we're looking forward to having a good, lively Friday night this year.
That's great. Yeah, Charlie Marie is an amazing talent. I think she's, one step away from being discovered nationally. I mean, she has been discovered, but really making it big. She's, as you said, a great songwriter, and we've profiled her on What's Up Newp as well. And then Veronica Lewis is another one, blues piano player who you've had previously. I think she's been there a couple times now. We interviewed her a couple of years ago, and she just put out a new album, topping the charts, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all over the blues chart, the Americana chart, the folk music charts. I mean, she's spanning a lot of territory, and her playing has just improved so much. We first had her 2 years, well, actually it's 3 years ago now, and she was pretty timid and kind of nervous going on stage, but now she's got a commanding presence, and she's 17 years old, and plays great boogie woogie piano. An amazing young girl. She valedictorian of her high school class, and she's got that smart edge to her, and then turns around and just can pound the hell out of a piano.
Yeah, I concur with your. I mean, she was a little nervous, as you said, a couple of years ago. Definitely, you could see the talent, and she's really matured as a player. And she just graduated high school, so she really has a great future ahead of her. What else, would you say people should look for at this year's festival? What's the sort of central message that you have for people as they consider whether to attend or not?
I've been thinking about that, what to say stage, and I think it's just going to be a celebration of life. It just to look out over the crowd and just be glad to see everybody who's there has survived the pandemic and able to make it this far. That's going to be key to the central theme of this year. Just be there, enjoy the music, the food, the dancing, the whole atmosphere. I mean, we spent 23 years building a community of people who show up every year. They camp, they meet with their friends, they make new friends. They just a total experience. So we're trying to reassemble that, and hopefully most of the people we've had in that.
And I think we're the Wi-Fi down there in Southern Rhode Island.
Yep. Yeah, we're having a few technical issues again. But I think the gist of what Chuck was saying, of course, is just build a community and, get to see everybody again. That's what it's all about. It really is, between the volunteers and the vendors and the just really warm vibes that you get from Rhythm and Roots makes
I think I'm
special.
losing your vocals.
Yeah. All right. I think we may want to say we'll see you at the festival, if not sooner. Because I think that's a good place to leave it, Ken. I think we're having some good old Wi-Fi issues, but I encourage everybody to go to rhythmandroots.com, spell out and obviously. It's right there on the bottom. Check out the lineup, and it's going to be a good one. And it's going to be a great Labor Day weekend down there in beautiful Charlestown. Weather's going to be better than July 4th weekend, I fear, for July 4th, the way it looks. But let's hope we can pull out July 4th first. And before you know it, Rhythm and Roots will be here. Thanks again to Chuck for being on today. He's a busy man this time of year. We appreciate his time and what he does for music in Rhode Island.
That's right. And camping, dancing, socializing is really great. And also said, I hope next year they go back to the longer festival. And I'm sure next year when we have Chuck on, he will be talking about that.
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Abrams, thanks for bringing this great conversation with us. And if you are a local musician, if you are a local producer, if you have anything to do with music, if you own a venue that hosts live music, we want to have you on. We want to talk to you. We want to highlight who you have a gig, either through listings or through interviews. So be sure to get in touch with Ken and I, and we'll have you next on here, or we'll write a story about you.
Great.
All right, Mr. Abrams, thanks for the chat.
We'll see you soon. Take care.
We'll see you soon. Until next time.